Hi guys, it's Amaya and welcome back to my channel where I post whatever videos I want. In today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, are pre-releases ruining K-pop? So my inspiration for making this video was the group Kiki. Before the members were even announced, their branding was very experimental. They had advertisements that were like 3D animated. They also made their own website where they were selling jams, and each jam was named after one of their songs. And then when you clicked on the jam, it led to a link that was a different website. So for example, Been That Girl was a dress-up game, and then Groundwork was a slideshow. As a marketing student, I was really excited to see the creativity behind their marketing, especially as a brand new group. I just didn't know what to expect. What I was thinking was it was going to be kind of like Red Velvet, Zimzalabim, kind of something like, their out there concepts. I also remember people having a lot of discourse around quirky or experimental music coming back to K-pop. So I was ready when their first pre-release song I Do Me dropped on February 16th. I wrote IDM in my notes, but I Do Me is an upbeat pop track with a fun chorus and calmer verses. This song is my favorite of the three that I've heard. And it's also the most authentically K-pop styled, with a farm background in the music video. To match their kind of like calmness of this song. So this song didn't match the style of what I expected. With I Do Me, it's a very upbeat pop song. Like any group could release this song and it would fit. So I thought because their advertising was a lot more experimental, that their music would match with it. So although this song didn't match my idea of the group, I was still okay with it because I thought this was just one of their songs that they were throwing out there to be good with the general public. I was still waiting on that experimental sound, which I got with their second pre-release song, Debut Song, which came out on February 23rd. Debut Song is based on the Korean Happy Birthday song. The girls had a happy debut cake and music show performances as some of their scenes. The beat was also extremely relaxed, and their voices had T-Pain levels of auto-tune. So although I didn't like this song, it definitely wasn't in my playlist, I could respect the creativity of it, and this was leaning towards the experimental sound that I thought we were going to get from the rest of their album. After I Do Me and Debut Song, I thought that the group's title track would have some experimental qualities from Debut Song because it would match better with what they had been promoting. However, when their official debut, Been That Girl, released on March 26th, it was completely different from the two pre-releases that they had off this album. Been That Girl is a hip-hop song with bold rap verses, a trap beat, and soft vocals. This is where their marketing left me confused. So some groups are multifaceted, with each comeback showcasing different qualities. For example, I mentioned Red Velvet earlier. Each comeback, they switch between a velvet and a red concept, so they can do any genre of music. However, this is not a typical marketing strategy for a brand new group. Most groups want to show you what they'll typically stick with before they start switching to different genres and trying to branch out. While I was originally interested in Kiki's music, this left me confused and somewhat disappointed to not see them continue with the style that we saw in Debut Song. So as I said before, I think all of these songs are none of these are objectively bad songs. It's just for me, when they advertise being experimental, I thought it wouldn't just be one of the pre-releases that had that same energy. Been That Girl, you could call experimental in the way that it switches between soft vocals and bold raps, but it's not necessarily experimental in the sound because, as I said, they use trap beats that you've heard times before. Here we can begin to dissect some of the other issues with K-pop pre-releases. The first issue that I thought of is competing tracks. So other groups like IVE and aespa have used the pre-release strategy in previous years. I remember aespa did this with Supernova and Armageddon, and IVE did this recently with Rebel Heart and Attitude. In both of these cases, the pre-release outperformed the official title track. Both groups won more on music shows with their pre-release, and aespa won more end-of-year awards with Supernova than with Armageddon. Since the pre-release is meant to build up attention for the title track, this begs the question as to whether it's worth it to do a pre-release if it's going to outperform the title track. Does a pre-release limit the title track's potential? Or is it better to have two songs compete to at least give one of them a chance of performing well? Two is confusing the public. Since most people are not avid K-pop fans, it'll be hard for them to keep track of the differences between these tracks. Groups are now releasing pre-releases before debuts. They have dual title tracks. They have B-sides and title tracks that they both promote on music shows. Aside from this resulting in the pre-release outperforming the title track, it can also split the group's promotion efforts. Now the group has to do twice the promotions they would originally do on music shows and variety shows. Number 3 is promotion time. Along with my last point, groups are now promoting for much longer than before. I know personally, Zikers promoted for 2 months. I think they've done that for their last few comebacks, where they do the pre-release for 1 month and then the actual title track for another month. In my opinion, as a fan, I would prefer to see the group perform more once the entire album is out, as opposed to performing for a month to get attention for their album and then performing for the actual album for the same amount of time. I feel like you should do more time promoting the full project as opposed to just one song. Kiki spent the last month promoting I Do Me, and now they'll probably spend another month promoting Been That Girl. I also would prefer to see my favorite groups have more comebacks within a year, as opposed to spending 2 months promoting one comeback, with half of that time being on a song before the album is even released. This is also because I like to overplay songs that I'm interested in. Obviously, there are benefits to pre-releases as well, such as making album tracks more popular, generating attention for an album before it drops, and experimenting with different sounds without the risks of the public not liking the title track. I'm not fully against title tracks, and Mix's High Horse has been one of my most played songs this month, as well as Mark's 82 Pressin. New Jeans probably had the most success with this method, with their debut having 3 title tracks, but they had one of the most successful debuts that I've seen in K-pop. What do you think about groups doing pre-releases? Should they just have multiple title tracks? Should they wait until the album is dropped before they start promoting on music shows? Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for this channel as well as my second channel, which is going to be linked in the description, and to check out my TikTok as well. And that's all. Bye, guys. Been that girl. I've been that girl. I've been that girl.